Good morning. What's up? What's up? What's up? How we doing? How we doing, Francisco? Missing stream due to meetings? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. How could you? Give an update on your note taker project, Claude. Walk me through logging Bluetooth packets and then reverse engineered the encryption. Huh? What you talking about? So we have some new Mythos info to chat about. Some new vulns. Let's try to find some of those. No. That's not it. And then I wanted to talk about interesting conversation having around some North Korean spies and how they are how they're tricking everybody. Man, where did I put this? Brandon, you sent me this. How is this not in the news yet? Oh my God, there's not news about this yet. All right. Oh, we got spies today. 147 stops, Muhammad. That seems like middle of the road based on what you're saying. But we talked about most of the news that's been big news this week already. So this stream can be as chill as we want it to be. We can do some Q&A if we want. I was going to see if I can get someone to pop in, but I didn't really have time to figure out the tech of having someone like remote come chat with us. So I couldn't quite figure that out. I got to figure out how we want to do remote people coming and hanging out on stream with us. Probably Riverside or something. Oh, did you guys see my shirt? It's the Notorious APTs. We've got Typhoon and Panda. We've got Bear and Blizzard. We've got Fox and Sandstorm. We've got a bit of a spider situation going on. Love it. Love it. Love it. If you see me do any weird shit with my jaw today, I'm getting scuba certified. So I've been scuba diving the past 2 nights for the first time in my life. And it turns out it kind of fucks with your ears a little bit. I didn't realize how bad that would be. I figured, okay, you got to like pop your ears and stuff, but it's like kind of continued into the next day, which is super interesting. All right. I don't know why there aren't news stories about this, but I guess they haven't written it up. Should I break the news? Should I break the news here on stream to the hundreds of you watching? There's not hundreds of you today. Yeah, we're doing it. So, I mean, this is public info, right? So this is security on Palo Alto Networks. And these vulns dropped yesterday. And I guess they haven't really caught the news, but these are Mythos vulns, guys. These are Mythos vulns. So we've got 3 crits. After all that, we got 3 crits, and they're saying CVSS 7.2. So like loose definition of crit, I guess, right? Boom. Boom. But yeah, we got an auth bypass, a buffer overflow, and an RCE. I don't know why it's not. Oh, this isn't even crit. They're saying hi. Well, I heard that it found 3 crits, so we might either they got downgraded or we haven't heard them. We haven't found them all yet. Yes, that's what I mean by Mythos vulns. These are vulns that were Pan was part of Project Glasswing, and here we are. But strangely, not a lot of news stories about that yet. So maybe they'll talk more about it. They released the patches. Cool. Everyone go do your patch thing. But I'm excited to talk about, I'm hoping that they give write-ups like Firefox has. Let's see if I can find like, this was 3 weeks ago now. Where's the Mozilla like security blog? Let's try to find that. What? I was like, that date is in the future. And no, that date was so far in the past that I thought it might be in the future. I'm trying to find Mozilla, like, is one of the ones that's doing a lot of these write-ups about mythos. Mozilla hacks behind the scenes. Let's see. Time travel is tricky. It said May 17th. I went to the Mozilla security blog and it said the latest post was May 17th. And I was like, it's not May 17th yet. And it was like 2025. I was like, whoa, we have not written on a blog about security in a while, huh? I guess they've moved it to the hacks subdomain. Oh, by the way, guys, all websites are now early 2000s websites. Every website I go to has like cursor shit that follows you or like random stuff. Like, look, my mouse goes over and the K goes. How cute. This is like they're talking. Yeah, here. This is what I was looking for. So Firefox is publishing a fair bit about like their success with Mythos. So this is Firefox security bug fixes by month, all sources, all severity. About 20 to 30, about 20, pretty evenly for a year until February Opus 4.5 came out, 4.6 came out. I think that was 4.6. And then April, boom, Mythos. But the thing that I'm hoping that the rest of the Glasswing people do that Mozilla has been doing is pretty publicly talking about their harness, right? How are they using whatever the hell model you're using to do this kind of stuff? So they've been experimenting to do code audits for the past few years, even back to GPT-4, Sonnet 3.5. Showed some promise, but high rate of false positives. Yeah, we are, Mythos, fist to sky, you say? Mythos! Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we were still heavily in hallucination land over here, right, with these models. But then the introduction of agentic harnesses that can reliably detect security issues completely change this. These can find real bugs and dismiss unreproducible speculation. The key features of such a harness is that given the right interfaces and instructions, it can create and run reproducible tests to dynamically test hypotheses about bugs in code. After fixing the initial set of issues that Anthropic sent us in February, we built our own harness atop our existing fuzzing infrastructure. I'm actually kind of interested how much they've talked about this. We've been fuzzing Firefox for a while. We apply fuzzing on different levels. There's fuzzing in the browser as a whole, but a significant amount of time is also spent fuzzing isolated code with a libfuzzer, or whole components such as the JS engine using separate shells. So this is the kind of stuff that I was trying to build with Opus 4.6, right? This is the kind of research that I was trying to get on top of. Turns out it's really hard. Turns out it makes sense that browser exploits are like the elite of the elite that find this stuff. I didn't use Grizzly. Oh, this is their thing? Grizzly is a modular general purpose browser fuzzing framework. Ooh, interesting. Creating an adapter allows us to easily run existing fuzzers in Grizzly. Okay, cool. Bit of a fuzzing orchestrator. Again, this is what I was trying to just force Claude to be for me. Managing the results. Then there's a fuzz manager. Jeez. They've open sourced a ton of this. This is great. Okay, now I'm like re-sparking my curiosity. What if I gave, like, what if you gave Claude all of these projects and told it to go ham? I mean, it's kind of hard, right? Because they already have the better mousetrap, right? They already have Mythos. So what would I be doing wasting my time throwing my Claude 4.6, 4.7 on a max plan at this? I would just burn a week's worth of tokens on something that they're already doing, right? You got to wonder, though. You got to wonder. My God, there's so many tools. Whoa, man. Mozilla Security has a huge open source suite of stuff. A tool for automatic analysis of bugs filed against Firefox. Wow. Okay, so now I wonder if they're even using I wonder if this blog is out of date due to, because this is from 2021. It looks like they're still kicking it. It looks like they might still be using it 2 months ago, last month. So it looks like it's still an active project. Interesting. Got here just in time to see the sauce. I'm a big sauce guy. Partial to marinara. But anything I can dip some bread in. Big fan. Managing results. Fuzz Manager, Grizzly. Easily collect RR traces to submit to Pernosco. I mean, we are firmly out of my wheelhouse here. This is why I wanted to do this research, right? Like when I was doing the Claude 4.6 Vuln research project that I was started, I picked this area because I don't know shit about this area. I didn't pick AppSec. I was like, oh, if I find cross-site scripting bugs, man, I can find cross-site scripting bugs myself. So I wasn't going to be super impressed if I could do that with AI, right? Oh, you mean guy who is good at AppSec could use a tool to do AppSec? It's like, well, of course. But guy who's dumb about all that, like I've never even heard of any of these tools. It's like, okay, that's a better story to tell. I don't know what this is. Fast, fun, omniscient debugging. Shares recordings of debugging state. I mean, this you're like dealing with super low level stuff, right? Creating optimal bug reports, crash information. So if you guys don't know, fuzzing a browser, you're trying to crash it. You're trying to throw info in different places to crash it. If it crashes, it's a sign that it's handling information and memory improperly. And if it's handling memory improperly, where there's smoke, there might be fire. And so this is what you're kind of doing when fuzzing. You throw a bunch of stuff, you check for a crash, and then you're like, okay, was that crash A, repeatable? B, does that crash also have the other requisite symptoms that would allow me to actually turn that crash into an exploit, into like executing my own code. Because not all crashes could do that. At that point, you might be able to DOS a browser, but not actually do anything else. Much lower severity, right? I mean, still a big deal, right? You don't want a website to just randomly crash your browser, but sounds like this Pernosco could take the crash reports and like parse them out, beautify them, record stuff. Because again, we're trying to make good bug reports, regression range, verification via Bugmon. So I am super interested because you would think that instead of Bugmon, you would use an agent, right? Like you would think nowadays you would not do that. Like this verification bit. I don't know though. Yeah, see, number of bugs reported most of the time don't actually have a security implication. You know, just the little tip here have a security implication. All right, super interesting. I didn't realize that they had posted all this. Anyway, I just got down that rabbit hole from their blog talking about harnessing models to do stuff. So they said they built a harness atop their existing fuzzing infrastructure. The existing fuzzing infrastructure is everything that we just talked about, right? Fuzzing pools, parallel fuzzing, fuzz manager, reduction, and then Bugmon. So I'm guessing, I mean, they say they're building it on top of it. I don't know. Maybe that you might as well, like, what did Marcus Hutchins say? It's kind of the Marcus law. Anything an LLM can mess up, it will mess up. So do things with code when you can and LLMs when you can't. It's kind of what Marcus was getting at. So I think maybe that's what's probably going on here. Is like, okay, we're going to use Bugmon because it's code and we know that what it does and how it works and all that. And then, you know, maybe we can bring the superpower of an LLM in over the top of the code that does the code things. Android O days. Android O days, oh boy. Yes. Yes. Android O days. Mythos! Android O days. Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. So basically I'm bringing this up to say kudos to Mozilla, A, for being the Anthropic marketing department. I hope you're getting compensated fairly for marketing as much as you are for Anthropic. But also kudos for not just being like, look at all the vulns that Mythos found. Like, period. End of discussion. It's like, no. Mythos isn't magic. Here's all the other shit that we had to do to make Mythos do the stuff that we just found, right? Ooh, this looks like a good blog post that just came out. Anatomy of a nation-state botnet from Microsoft Threat Intel. Secret Blizzard. Did you say Blizzard? Wait, that's Typhoon. Did you say Blizzard? We're talking about this quadrant of my shirt? Ah, Russian Blizzard. Secret Blizzard. Okay. Interesting. This just dropped. We'll go through this in a second. That literally that tweet just came out like 4 minutes ago. All right. So they built the harness on top of existing fuzzing operations, and then we began small-scale experiments, prompting the harness to look for sandbox escapes with forcex. This is the turning point, right, in security capability of frontier models. So it makes sense that they were tinkering with it back here. It was hallucinating. They built the harness. The harness gets rid of a lot of the hallucinations. You're still burning tokens, but it's gotten better, and your harness can get stuff out. And then the real turning point is 4.6, right? So even with this model, we identified an impressive amount of previously unknown vulnerabilities, which required complex reasoning over multiprocessor browser engine code. At first, we supervised the process in the terminal to observe the process in real time and tune the prompts and logic. Once this was working well, we parallelized the job across multiple ephemeral VMs, each tasked to hunt for bugs with a specific target file and write its findings back to a bucket. So this is what they said when they first were talking about a bunch of this mythos stuff too, right? Was it sounds like they're giving like literally file by file of Firefox source code to the harness and basically saying, there's a vuln here, find it. It sounded like they were almost lying in their prompt to the model. Just like, yep, there is a vuln here, go find it. Sorry, I just got a text. So like I told you guys, I'm getting scuba certified. And so I'm going on this trip this summer and I'm doing like the basic, anyone in chat scuba certified? It's kind of an interesting little rabbit hole. I didn't realize how crazy of a rabbit hole scuba training is. So you have to get like open water trained first. And then there's like all these like other training paths you can kind of go down. And I just found out this morning that it might be beneficial for my trip if I take some additional training. So it's like my scuba instructor is texting me. It's always someone's salt or blizzard. Dairy Queen can't handle shit. Dairy Queen is the advanced persistent threat. They can turn that shit upside down. All right, so this line by line shit is super interesting. But then like Opus 4.6, you see the tick here from in the 20s to in the 60s and 70s. That's the Opus 4.6 difference. A discovery subsystem is necessary but not sufficient. In order to scale the effort, we needed to integrate it with our full security bug lifecycle, determining what to look for, where to look, and how to handle what it produces. This last part includes deduplicating against known issues, tracking bugs, triaging them, and getting fixes shipped. While the model is the core primitive powering the harness, the full pipeline is necessary to make it useful at scale. So, reading between the lines here, it seems like everything after the look at this file and find a vulnerability is not using a model, right? Determining what to look for is taking probably, that's like the prompt from the skilled person and driver and team. So they're not relying on the model to determine what to look for or where to look. That's the team feeding the harness. Then how to handle what it produces, including deduplicating, tracking, triaging, and getting fixes shipped, again, seems like is not part of their Anthropic mechanism. They don't turn them upside down anymore? I mean, what kind of life are we living? We'll be doing that next week in Cancun for a wedding trip. Scuba, are you already certified, Mohammed? Or you're getting certified when you go there? Turns out it's a fucking process, man. There's a lot. Once the end-to-end pipeline is in place, it's trivial to swap in different models when they become available. Building this pipeline early helped us find a number of... Yeah, it sounds like if you're not building a harness right now, you're making a mistake. I think that's fair enough to say. I don't think that's a hot take. I think if you're not already actively working on a harness right now, you should be, basically. I think the people that figure out their custom, like what's the custom stuff that you're going to need to do in your environment, because the harnesses are not going to really be super transferable. Oh, you already got certified last year. Cool. The harnesses are not going to be super transferable, right? Like, I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of like harness productization coming out. right? Because if I'm Mozilla, could I have possibly bought a harness that knew my vulnerability lifecycle and all the little ins and outs off the shelf? I don't think so, right? I think literally how many open source projects that I just clicked through that handle different pieces of them. Also, fucking kudos. Like, this is a security engineering team. Like, I don't know these guys, but I want to now. Like, this is what Netflix used to do, right? Netflix kind of hasn't really done this as much lately. But Netflix used to open source like in chunks. Like, each repo is purpose built. Like, this is this project. Like, these only have like this only has 11 stars. Is this only used? Can this only be used for Firefox bugs? Or can this be used for anything? I don't know if this Bugmon is a tool for automatic analysis of bugs filed against Firefox or SpiderMonkey in Mozilla's Bugzilla database. So I don't know if this is usable outside of their environment. So like, thanks for open sourcing it. No one can really use this unless you're currently looking for bugs in Microsoft, in Mozilla. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think hot take, get your harness sorted out. Why did I just get another notification about that? That's so dumb. iOS notifications are so broken right now. So are Instagram notifications. Just completely busted. So they're kind of like showcasing you the roadmap here, right? Of like, built the harness on top of their thing. They obviously have a world-class security engineering team, you know, that they're open sourcing all parts of their security pipeline. So it makes sense that they're mature enough to do this. But then the model swap, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now, right? Like, we walked through that Niels Provost blog as well. And we went through, you know, all the different models that he was throwing at his harness. So it makes sense that just like, okay, you're going to upgrade it. So in our experience, model upgrades increase the effectiveness of the entire pipeline. The system gets simultaneously better at finding potential bugs, creating proof of concept test cases to demonstrate them, and articulating their pathology and impact. Which seems like the major Mythos step up was specifically, it seemed like finding bugs is about the same, but then these next couple, right? And like actually making the POCs and exploits is like where it got crazy good. Ultimately, every bug requires care and attention. Staying on top of this unprecedented volume has led to a lot of work and long days over the last few months, and we're extremely proud of how the team has stepped up to meet the challenge. Over 100 people contributed code to this effort to ship the most secure Firefox yet. In addition to writing and reviewing patches, others have been building and scaling this pipeline, triaging, testing the fixes, and managing the releases of the bugs. Yeah, interesting. Anyone building software can start using a harness with a modern model to find bugs in their code today. We recommend getting started now. You will find bugs, and you will set yourself up to take advantage of new models. You can start with very simple prompting, then observe and iterate. Our initial prompts were not dissimilar to those described here. What's here?
In the project. And
we watched this talk, right? We watched this. Okay. Super interesting. Through iteration, we've built out a lot of orchestration and tooling to optimize and scale the pipeline. But the essence of the inner loop remains the same. There is a bug in this part of the code. Please find it and build a test case. We haven't bottomed on all the latent bugs in Firefox, but are quite pleased with the trajectory. Today, our scanning is largely focused on specific areas of code, files, and functions. where we instruct the system to look based on a mix of human judgment and automated signals. In the near future, we intend to integrate this analysis into our continuous integration system to scan patches as they land in the tree. Models are quite flexible with the form of the context provided, and we expect patch-based scanning to work as well. The current moment is a perilous one, but full of opportunity. Let's work together. So I think the interesting part, so prediction hat, put on your prediction hats, everybody, right? Prediction hat. This is going to be a very lonely spire on this graph as this graph goes out. I think maybe May will be somewhat impressive outlier also, because we have April 2026. Maybe May will also do it as they continue to send files and functions and stuff through this harness. But then what are we going to see? I wish I could draw on my screen. Then we're going to see it go down. Ooh, right? Probably approaching 0, because Mythos is only going to be good at finding certain types of bugs, and those kinds of bugs are not infinite. It's not going to forever be able to find these bugs. So it's going to churn through the hundreds of bugs that it's really good at finding that other methods were not as good, or certainly not as efficient at finding, right? So for example, maybe a bunch of these 420 bugs were kind of the same if you just squeeze January through January's bugs found together, right? Because there's not that many net new bugs introduced every month, is not exponential or anything like that, right? So there could just be an efficiency thing here, right? Is holy shit, this model let us churn through this stuff so much faster, because fuzzers are a sledgehammer. Fuzzers are not intelligent. So when you're fuzzing for bugs, it is just and it takes gobs and gobs of time and compute and memory. And you're just throwing everything at this code until you find crashes, and then you go let me go investigate that little crash. What just happened? What just happened there? Can we go find it? And then that's where the bugs actually fall out. So it seems like what this harness and model combo is doing is just, hey, instead of throwing a sledgehammer and see what's coming out, we got a little bit of intelligence to it. But yeah, we've got this big spike, and then it's gonna start to go down. But we're in for a world of hurt in the meantime, because not everyone's Project Glasswing, right? Not everyone's ever going to be Project Glasswing. So you got the browsers and the operating systems and some other major hardware vendors and stuff like that are in Glasswing. What happens after that? Pain happens after that for a little while, for sure. For sure. All right. Shall we talk Android 0 days? Shall we? So I guess there's some context that we should look at here. Project Zero, a zero-click exploit chain for the Pixel 9 was back in January. So pre-Mythos. You can't blame Mythos here. It demonstrated it was possible to go from a zero-click context to root on Android in 2 exploits. Dolby zero-click vulnerability existed across all of Android until it was patched in January. While we had an exploit chain for the Pixel 9, we wanted to see if it was possible to write a similar exploit chain for the Pixel 10. Spoiler alert. We wouldn't be reading this blog if they failed. Altering our exploit was fairly straightforward. The majority of the needed changes involved updating offset calculations. We don't have to read this thing word for word. I'm kind of more interested in the bug and how they found it. The holy grail of kernel vulnerabilities. This bug in particular caught our attention as exceptionally simple to exploit. So this bug... Oh, man. it's bad when we're in the Chromium bug tracker reading actual raw bug reports. You know it's bad. Okay, so I was trying to figure out the timeline. So this was fixed in February. This is themselves, right? This is Project Zero. So this is people at Google. Can't quite see who, right? Oh, there you go. Seth Jenkins. And I don't know where first initial last name starts and begins there. Found this bug back in November. Interesting. So this was pre that January bit. But it's a VPU driver mmap allows out-of-band physical mappings. So what about this bug seemed simple to exploit? The mmap handler is intended to be used in order to map the MMIO register region of the VPU hardware into the userland virtual address space, a region contained within a certain physical memory address range. In doing so, it makes a call. This means that by specifying a size larger than the register region in an mmap syscall, man, we are in the fucking weeds at this point. Do we really want to read word for word of hardware exploits? This might be a little low level for our streaming purposes. I was kind of interested because I thought that this was something out of their deep, Big Sleep project. I reported the bug on November and Android VRP rated high. This is an improvement given that the big wave bug we used for privilege exploration on the 9 was initially rated a moderate. This represents a meaningful and positive change in posture regarding how these types of bugs are triaged and patched. Vulnerability was patched 71 days after the report. This is notably fast given that this is the first time that the Android driver bug I reported was patched within 90 days of the vendor first learning about the vulnerability. Why are we talking about it in the third person? Isn't this Google looking at Android? Who is the third person here? Right? Like, who's the vendor? It's like Google scanning and finding vulnerabilities in Google. Is that just how the security and Project Zero people talk about anyone, even Google? So even though they work for the same company, they're saying this is the first time a vendor patched within 90 days, even though the vendor was Google. It's an interesting little quirk, right? You would think, hi, same team, Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man. But these are kind of gnarly bugs as they come up, right? Like zero-click to exploits, like zero-click to root on a mobile device is scary, scary. Did our good friend Ed make a video about this? Did our good friend Ed make a video about this? I believe they might have. Ooh, wait, Prime has a video we want to watch. We're going to do a bunch of React streams today. We've talked so much about the news. Did Ed make one?
Is it possible for a firewall to actually increase the attack surface of your network? You know, a firewall is a device that's supposed to...
This is... Oh, the Palo Alto vulnerability is what he did. Okay, I thought that he'd already covered this. He has not yet. I think he probably will. That's a vulnerability pretty squarely in Ed will make a video about this land. Hey, my iOS video is still seeing a little uptick. Look at that. Guys, I understand the background music was not a popular decision on my video. Guys, I made $8 from that video. Check me out. What's up, Kilobyte, Portbuster? How y'all doing? Laura, poor Android. I agree. Morning, Bill. Yeah, my iOS video is catching a little bit of air above my average, but the comments are pretty overwhelmingly just complaining about the background music, which we were trying a new thing. We were trying to like produce a bit of a video, not just Matt fucking yapping. What up, Roman? Dude, Roman, I can't believe I forgot your fucking YouTube name the other day. That was so funny. You were like talking to Andrew and asking Andrew questions and shit. And I was like, what's up, Beacon Cow? Oh, man. The new Linux LPE? Yeah, what's it called? Like, yeah, I know. Oh, wait, a third? I know copy fail and I know the one after copy fail. What's the third? Oh, whatever. Who cares what YouTube screen names are? A new one yesterday? Fragnesia? No, I have not heard about Fragnesia. Gosh darn. Oh, and that's our good friend. It's our good friend Rami. All right, what is this? Who found this? Yeah, I heard about Dirty Frag and copy fail. Per the researcher who discovered Dirty Frag, Fragnesia emerged as an unintended side effect of one of the patches addressing the original Dirty Frag vulnerability. Guys, oh my God. Yo, security is so fucking hard. Like the NPM worm this week, right, is talking about if you pull the latest patches on all your packages, you could catch malware, right? It's like you try to do the right security thing and you catch malware. You know? All these GitHub things, it's like people trying to do GitHub stuff right, and it's like makes them vulnerable. I'm further back than you thought. What do you mean? Further back than I thought about what? Sorry, I missed it. Patch introducing another one. Oh my God, guys, this is crazy. Prime video about Mythos on curl. We were just looking at that. You want to watch it now? I mean, these are crazy. Like, privilege escalation isn't like the holy shit, drop everything type bugs. Obviously, it's like in specific environments, these are big deals. In most environments, it's like, right? Copy fail, dirty frag. We're not like the holy shit situations. But yeah, you fucking drop a patch. Oh God, man. Security's so hard. All right. I just was looking at the Prime, the Prime video. Let's watch it.
Couple months, you've probably seen headlines that look something like this. Mythos. It's entirely too dangerous.
Mythos! Mythos! Okay, continue.
And even just last month, Mozilla posted this blog post that said the 0 days are numbered. And more so, they even write defenders finally have a chance to win decisively. Very, very funny. First off, you can't say a chance to, which means that it's not guaranteed, and then use a word that means, hey, it's guaranteed. No, like really, like look at this. Often without wavering or doubt. Like this is, You might win decisively. What are you doing, Mozilla? This is just silly. That means for the last little bit, it's been kind of difficult to figure out what the heck is actually going on. Is Mythos really the thing that's going to end all and be all of security? Or is it actually going to be just another model release? Yeah, things get slightly better, but nothing that's just going to blow your socks off. Just looking at the marketing, it's probably going to be the greatest thing that has ever existed ever.
All right. Some quick context. A lot of these like developer content creators like Prime and Theo are on like various stages of the spectrum that is like AI pilled, right? Thought I knew about Fragnesia already? No, dude, I missed Fragnesia yesterday. Oh, that I'm further behind. I missed by like 12 hours a bug that came out yesterday. I'm further behind. Oh man, I'm cooked. Chat thought that I would know about that already, and I didn't. Oh no. Hang me up. Well, this is why we do this, right? We all share information together. So like Prime, Theo, like a lot of these other people, they're not just like all in. And I think I saw Prime. Hold on a second. Like I think I saw Prime say something yesterday that shocked me. So, what the fuck is his Twitter name? No. The Prime Time or something? No. Prime. Jin. What is his fucking Twitter name? The Prime Jin. Jesus Christ. What, like Twitter search is just useless. He said something super interesting. Yeah, he did. Look at this. Do you see this? He's like the developer YouTuber, and he has never used Claude models. And he's saying this because there's some drama. Should we do some context about the drama really quick? Yeah, the rate limits, right? Let me find like a good post to pull up about the rate limits. Here's a good one. Also, 4.7 was lobotomized. I'm having a just fine experience with 4.7. I don't know. Maybe a little bit worse than OG 4.6, but definitely better than late stage 4.6. It does refuse more security things for sure. It definitely has different guardrails. But basically, Claude has, like Anthropic has come out and put a bunch of different rules in place about the usage of the different plans and APIs and all this kind of stuff around their SDK, right? So Theo, other like major developer content creator, right, has built this like T3 code and T3 chat like tool around all of the different AI platforms. So basically, like you use his tool, you can access all the different models, whatever, right? He's like, they forced us to use this agent SDK thing because it was the only thing supported, but it sucked, right? And I don't really know the details of like why he's saying it was hell. I don't know why this sucks. I'm like unfamiliar, right? But now our users are getting their rate limits cut by 40x despite us doing everything right? He's pissed. He's canceled his Claude code. He's like ripping it out of stuff, whatever, right? So that's a bit of the drama. This is what Prime is responding to here, right? Is like, hey, Anthropic came out and said this, whatever. I am pretty unaffected by this because I I live in Claude code. I don't like, and then the tools that I use don't do any of the API or SDK stuff. Like I don't use OpenClaw, I don't use T3 anything, whatever, right? So the tools that I use in Claude code itself are really unimpacted. But it just shocked me that Prime had never used Claude models, right? Yeah, dude. Matthew Berman, and then there's another guy, Alex something or other, that are just hype fire hoses. I now ignore them. I now completely ignore them. I was watching them. They got on my radar around OpenClaw time. And I was like, oh, let me see what these guys are saying that they're having their agents do overnight. Like, because I was like, oh, okay, wow. You know, OpenClaw kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to, like, let's do this agentic stuff without a prompt, without like me driving it. I'm gonna like my agent is gonna do other stuff based on other input that it like, you know, that has nothing to do with me, right? It was kind of the big unlock from the OpenClaw hype wave, right? That being said, anyone that I know that's like doing serious work with AI and like having good results doesn't touch OpenClaw, right? Like we all tried it and everyone's like, this ain't it. Like I don't see the reason to continue using this, right? But those guys, man, there's two guys. I think the other guy's name is Alex or something. And the scripts are just like AI generated hype fire hose about like the life-changing, like whatever, right? And it's just like, man, no, your agent isn't making you $10,000 a night. Like my agent paid for itself. I gave my OpenClaw the instructions to pay for itself. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you didn't. You just like, they all still have like all of the limitations, right? They all still like, you're still using the same fucking models that are still going to make the same fucking mistakes, right? Like, no. Like, no, your agent isn't just like in some perpetual self-improving loop or whatever. There are levels to this, and it's very impressive, you know? I'm more of the like read the shit that like Dan Guido puts out, Anthropic puts out, Mozilla puts out, you know. It's like, oh, we are sane. We have harnesses. LLMs are good at what LLMs are good at, but like there's a lot that goes on, right? And then there's guys that are like, we're going to be the first one-person billionaire company because of an army of agents. It's like, no, we're not quite there yet, you know? And so, yes, I've learned to ignore those people because while they do absolutely showcase a lot of the new stuff that comes out, so it's like for a while I was watching them because it was interesting because it's like, what came out? Yeah, this guy will tell me about this new release thing. Claude Design came out. Cool. What's fucking Claude Design, right? How do I hook it up to my agents? But it's just like, man, you got to really, really, really temper out the noise from that stuff. So yeah, that Matthew Berman guy is one of the worst for that. And then there's like another guy. I can't remember his full name at the moment. All right, let's, that's the context, okay? But the other just like, I just have to drive this home. The other important context for any Prime video that we watch or react to is that he's never used a Claude model. That's fucking wild, right? I know Low Level and him did like a live stream for 7 days straight. They all went to some house and vibe coded a game together. They didn't use Claude code in that video. Like I watched a lot of that video. I think Cursor sponsored it, so it made sense that they were using Cursor. They didn't use Claude? Guys, like it's hard to have an opinion about agentic coding capability if you've never used Claude code. Is that a hot take? Their money's driving engagement from hype. I like this benchmark guy on YouTube. Bijan, oh, I think I've watched that guy. I think I've watched him. Oh no, I haven't. Is this him? He does benchmarks. Oh yeah, okay. And he even does the open models and stuff. Oh, this is probably a diamond in the rough channel. Look at this. He doesn't get like viral views. I mean, he gets way more views than I do, but he's not like printing. And he's got like, man, this is the kind of YouTube channels I fucking love. Literally, dude, I don't like buy anything without finding the YouTube channel that tests everything first. Oh my God, you guys are going to laugh at me. What was the practical reviews? Is that what it's called? No. There's a guy, Prudent Reviews. Look at this. This is the kind of shit. I don't buy anything. This guy does the same thing. Instead of AI models, he's like, I bought every stainless steel pan. You can see I already watched this one. I tested every pan. I tested every air fryer, right? And he like puts it through the same ringer. He's like, very scientific method, right? Of like, oh, I cooked an egg in every pan with the same to the gram amount of oil, the same to the exact temperature amount of heating and time, like whatever. Oh man, I'm such a fucking loser. I saw a tweet the other day that really broke my brain because it was like, someone was like, hey, what are the best gym shorts right now or something? And the tweet responded to it like, bro, you're not playing an MMO. Just buy the fucking shorts. Like, you're not. Like, we're all such min-maxers in our brain that it's like, I must buy gym shorts that give me fucking +4 armor. It's like, just buy some fucking shorts, bro. Like, you don't have to look for the best shorts. It's like, oh my God, I'm definitely that guy, right? I'm definitely that guy. I've definitely watched videos like comparing t-shirts. Like, oh God. All right. So good context on Prime. I cannot understand. He's never used Claude. Okay. So that's important context because he's about to talk about mythos and marketing and whatever, and he's never used Claude. Okay. Like, I don't know. We're going to watch it. I love Prime. Prime is probably one of my favorite creators, period. Like, period. So this is not a shit talking, but very, very important context. Like, I'm someone who uses Claude and Codex and Gemini and ChatGPT and every day, right? So, and some of these tools I don't even like using. I feel obligated to stay on top of this shit because it changes so fast. It's kind of weird, right? All right.
So you've probably seen headlines that look something like this. Mythos. It's entirely too dangerous. And even just last month, Mozilla posted this blog post that said the 0 days are numbered. And more so, they even write defenders finally have a chance to win decisively. Very, very funny. First off, you can't say a chance to, which means that it's not guaranteed, and then use a word that means, hey, it's guaranteed. No, like really, like look at this. Often without wavering or doubt. Like this is you might win decisively. What are you doing, Mozilla? This is just silly. That means for the last little bit, it's been kind of difficult to figure out what the heck is actually going on. Is Mythos really the thing that's going to end all and be all of security, or is it actually going to be just another model release? Yeah, things get slightly better, but nothing that's just going to blow your socks off. Just looking at the marketing, it's probably going to be the greatest thing that has ever existed ever. Just saying, going out on a hunch here. But today, an amazing article comes out called "A Mythos Finds a Curl Vulnerability." Daniel Stenberg is probably best known for the library curl. You've probably used it several times, and if not, your AI agent is pounding it away.
So if you guys have hung out on the channel for a while, we've shown a lot of Daniel Stenberg content, right? He pretty famously shut down the curl bug bounty program because they were getting so much AI slop. He couldn't possibly treat it. Like, every one of these reports had to be taken seriously. And he was just talking to AI output, you know, out of whatever, low skilled people. He has now also famously reversed and said, holy shit, the reports got really good. They got really good. Like, we shut down our bug bounty program. All of a sudden, Opus 4.6 comes out, and the reports got a lot better, right? So that's the context on Daniel. I think I did see this Mythos thing, but I forget the details. Let's see.
But also, he is known for this article. The I in LLM stands for intelligence, where he kind of bemoans the state of security. This is what's going on, is security projects are being...
This is 2024. This is well before he shut down the bug bounty program. Well before. He shut down the bug bounty program in late 2025. Late 2025. He shut down the bug bounty program. 2024... Okay. Also, hot take. Making any judgments of models' intelligence based on 2024 models is almost irrelevant right now, right? That's like a state of model that is long since become obsolete, right? So, but yeah, obviously Daniel had a rough time with LLM stuff for a while because it was causing him a lot of work.
Inundated with really slop level PRs and security bugs that are just absolutely denying the attention of maintainers. We call it a denial of attention attack. Kind of unique. And he was one of the first people to really write strongly against this, saying how just annoying and just awful this AI revolution has been. This, of course, was on January 2nd, 2024. Fast forward about 2 years later on January 26, 2026, and Curl finally says, you know what?
Oh, okay. I said late 2025. It was early 2026. Holy shit. Holy shit. Actually, this was almost just over a week. Or almost exactly a week. What's the Opus 4.6 day? I think it's like February 4th, 5th, or 6th. I can't remember. You know what I mean? Like a week before Opus 4.6 comes out. I didn't realize the timing there. Like looking back on it, isn't that kind of wild? It's like the guy that with the meme with the diamond picks, right? Where he stops digging and the diamonds are just along a sliver more of the wall.
Our paid for bug bounty program, it just has to go away. Honestly, the level of slop is just absolutely distracting and we can get nothing done. And then, of course, 3 months later, April 22nd, 2026, which is only 1 day after.
Hey, Matt, stop pausing the fucking video. Prime's going to say everything that you're saying. Just let the fucking video go. Sorry, guys. Sorry. He's just better than me at this.
The defenders have a chance to win decisively. Daniel writes this article, high quality chaos, no more AI slop, meaning that the actual PRs and things have gone up significantly in quality, and he can now finally rely on these AI assisted security reports.
Sorry,
and this has largely been a lot of people's experience. Like if you were any sort of serious programmer, 2024 AI was effectively useless. There were a few cases where it's actually pretty sweet, but besides for that, it was largely ineffective. Now, today, there's actually some use cases, and it actually is pretty dang good at finding security. I've heard from many of security researchers that are actively employed at small to large companies saying, hey, this thing's actually gone from completely useless to very useful. And now to this, Mythos finds a curl vulnerability. I am very excited about the article being written right here about Mythos and curl, because this is going to be somebody who's gone through all the proper cycles, recognizing when AI first came on the scene that it had a huge amount of gaps and it's largely not that useful. And now today, it's improved and there's actually like some good utility that can be drawn from it. And since curl is approximately 178,000 lines of C, I mean, Mythos must have a heyday in it. Well, I've read the article and I have a lot to yap about. There's some juice in here, people. But of course, before we get started, the bag. Hey, is that HTTP?
God, he's such a good fucking YouTuber, man. I kind of actually want to watch this. What is this ad for? He has coffee like Network Chuck. Does Vulnerable You need a coffee brand? I'm kind of coffee obsessed.
Hey, is that HTTP? Get that out of here. That's not how we order coffee. We order coffee via SSH, terminal.shop. Yeah, you want a real experience? You want real coffee? You want awesome subscriptions so you never have to remember again? Oh, you want exclusive blends with exclusive coffee and exclusive content? Then check out Cron. You don't know what SSH is? Well, maybe the coffee's not for you.
Terminal coffee in hand, living the
God damn it, man.
All right, so Mythos finds...
Why do I even fucking have a YouTube channel? God, man. Was he always this good? Like... Guffawed at what a good YouTuber he is. Guffawed. Okay.
A curl vulnerability, yes. A singular one. That might be a little disappointing to some of you. I think right away your hearts probably dropped a little bit. Back in April 2026, Anthropic caused a lot of media noise when they concluded that their new AI model Mythos is too dangerously good at finding security flaws in source code. Apparently Mythos was so good at this that Anthropic would not release this model to the public yet, but instead trickle it out to a select few companies for a while to allow a few good ones to get a head start and fix most of the pressing problems first, before the general populace would get their hands on it. By the way, I do agree with Daniel's little question mark here. I'm not really sure why, just a few people, like the few good ones, like I don't know what that says about a lot of these companies. A lot of companies just out there just completely vulnerable because Anthropic won't share. Okay, cool, I guess. So as part of Project Glasswing, which is Anthropic's reach out with Mythos saying, hey, these certain companies and these certain open source projects get early access. So as part of the Glasswing outreach, Curl was contacted and Daniel had the offer, hey, would you like to use Mythos to go through your curl library? Of course, he was excited about it, but then, some weeks went by and nobody reached out again. And then eventually someone reached out and just said, hey, we're not going to give it to you, but we will analyze curl for you. Do you want us to do that? To me, the distinction isn't that important. It's not that I would have a lot of time to explore lots of different prompts and doing deep dive adventures anyways. Getting the tool to generate the first proper scan and analysis would be great, whoever did it. I happily accepted this offer. Honestly, kind of the best of both worlds, right? You got the person that's been using this model a whole bunch to be able to go and do the scan for you on your code base. You don't have to do a bunch of learning. You don't have to set up a bunch of harnesses. Ideally, they...
All right, so similarly to this, we talked about this yesterday or the day before. Time is fake and I can't figure out what day anything is anymore. Similarly to this, like Mythos is reaching out to open source tools to do this. Trail of Bits is doing the same thing, right? So they were talking about it in the context of OpenAI's Daybreak, that they were an early trusted cyber partner. And then the kind of what they're doing is on open source engagements we ran this year, we prioritized minimizing maintainer workloads. So similarly to whatever the Mythos crew did for curl, Trail of Bits has been doing for, I don't know what projects, but for projects, right? And so, but I kind of agree with the bar that they set here, right? Is like, you can't just send over the bullshit, the vault, right? This is what Google caught a lot of heat for with the FFmpeg drama last year. Is just like, here's a fucking flaw and we're $1 trillion company and whatever. No, we're going to not only send over the bug, we're going to make sure it's actually a bug. So that requires a POC. So this eliminates the false bug reporting if a POC works, right? They'll also ship a patch because guess what? LLMs are pretty good at also writing the fucking code, probably better at writing the code than they are finding vulnerabilities, and then a regression test whenever possible. Build validation harnesses that quickly answer 3 questions. Is the bug real? Does the fix work? And does anything else break? This is super interesting, right? So it seems like Mythos is starting to do this outside of Project Glasswing and doing this to other open source teams, right? It's like, hey, Daniel, we can't let all the open source maintainers in the world into Project Glasswing, but since it's open source, why don't we just do it? Like, we'll do it. Trust us, right? Which makes fucking sense, right? Trail of Bits is doing the same thing. Trail of Bits has very complex harnesses and skills and custom agents and everything that they've built to find bugs in code. Why not just run that on open source stuff as well? And with a POC and a fix and all this kind of stuff. Good for the internet. This is good stuff, right?
They probably have things that are more advanced than, say, I would have to begin with, right? Before we kind of proceed, there's a little bit of a backstory you have to understand about curl. Curl's been around for a very, very long time, and so they have a fairly extensive suite of tests. They also just have a whole bunch of other tools that they run, and this is kind of the screenshot that Daniel provides, which means that they have code style, they have banned functions. There's certain functions in C which you can just shoot your foot a lot easier than others. I'm thinking of stir copy versus stir end copy. Obviously, human review, bot reviews, no binary blobs, no git force push, a bunch of other stuff in here that's actually pretty important, and putting that all together, it has led curl down a stir copy versus stir end copy.
Oh, man. This is an interesting graphic. So this is all the different pieces of securing curl, an open source library. Torture tests. Normally you pay double for that kind of action. Codeberg, signed releases, reproduction. I don't know what Zizmore is. Fuzzing, NCI, and nonstop. So yeah, fuzzing constantly. Because like I said, when we were talking about the Mozilla stuff, fuzzing is a sledgehammer. Takes a lot of time, a lot of memory, a lot of just throwing shit, analyzing the crashes. AI plus static code analyzers. Yep, this is like SemGrep skills, LLM, stuff like this. Everything done in the open, accessible, and transparently. Yeah. All right. Strong 2FA. So if you're a committer, you have FIDO2. All right, cool. I like this graphic. Hey, if you're an open source maintainer, this is not a bad graphic of like shit that you're going to need to worry about.
Copy. Obviously, human review, bot reviews, no binary bobs, no git force push, a bunch of other stuff in here that's actually pretty important. And putting that all together, it has led curl down a route in which has had very few vulnerabilities kind of disclosed. And when I say few, I mean they've had a couple hundred CVEs total. So you can imagine that on May 6th, 2026, when they received the Mythos report, they were probably pretty excited. Because what are the chances that 176,000 lines of C code doesn't have quite a few bugs lurking around in it? They've had 573 separate individuals commit to curl over its lifetime, which means that it's not even just one person's thought process, but just a huge amount of people that have committed over a long period of time. All right, so we're almost done with this story, and then we'll get to the yapping. The report concluded it found 5 confirmed security vulnerabilities. Now, this is a pretty classic AI-ism. Whenever AI has confidence, it's going to tell you. Like, there's something amazingly magical about the fact that even if something is wrong, the AI is so dang confident in being incorrect. It's honestly a skill I could learn a lot from. So after a couple hours of investigation, this is what Daniel says. We had trimmed the list down and were left with 1 confirmed vulnerability. The other 4 were 3 false positives, and the 4th we deemed just a bug. The single confirmed vulnerability is going to end up as a severity low CVE planned to get published in sync with our pending next curl release in 8.21.0 in late June. The flaw is not going to make anyone gasp for breath. So in other words, it's nothing that's like super important enough for them to do some sort of out-of-band release. They're just like, hey, next time we release, hey, sometime in the future, don't even worry about it. That's how much we're concerned about it. So at some point, we will go out and we'll fix it in public. No one rush in. Hey, no need to rush in. A side effect of the Mythos report is that it found about 20.
That is super interesting, right? They know about a crit, and it's going to go out just in June. So like theoretically, because we have research that people are reproducing Mythos findings with Opus 4.6, not even 4.7, with the proper harness. So theoretically, we could probably find that bug, right? Because we know it exists. We kind of have a bit of information about it. And we have a model that has proven that it could do the same thing given the right harness. And you have between now and the end of June to know about that bug because they're not going to push an out-of-band fix. Kind of interesting, right? But if maybe it's not, like he said, maybe it's not, you're not going to gasp for air, so maybe it's not super exploitable in the wild.
20 bugs that were described nicely with very low false positive rates. And so that actually is something that just generally was a pretty good deal for Daniel. Curl is certainly getting better thanks to this report, but counted by the volume of issues found, all the previous AI tools we have used have resulted in larger bug fix amounts. Now, this is where things kind of get funny. The reality is that Curl has been using AI now to kind of do a lot of analysis on its code, and it's able to find more and more bugs. Even though in the beginning, Daniel was very, very, very hesitant about AI, they have since changed their tune as AI has improved. And since then, they've been able to find a large amount of bugs, which means that when Mythos ran, it actually found very few bugs. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. What does that mean to you? Before I give my conclusion, let's read Daniel's conclusion first. My personal conclusion can, however, not end up with anything else than that the big hype around this model so far was primarily marketing. I see no evidence that this setup finds issues to any particular higher or more advanced degree than other tools have done before Mythos. Maybe this model is a little bit better, but even if it is not better to a degree that seems to make a significant dent in code.
All right. Not to be the defend the AI supergiant guy again. I seem to keep doing this. Curl as a repo is n equals 1, right? And it's not the biggest, most complex set of code ever, right? Like we did just get like, hold on. No. Not this one. Oh, no, it is this one. Like, we did just see this, right? Like, I would like to see a similar graph for curl. How many bugs in a given month across the last 2 years has curl been closing? How many of those were security? How many of those were crits? Right? Because if it found one crit, what's the norm? What's the normal crit rate for curl? I don't know. I guess we could probably go figure it out if we wanted to. But like, to me, it's like, well, yeah, of course. Of course it didn't find 1,000 criticals in one code base that has been heavily reviewed, right? But I don't know. Right? Like it just seems a little weird to be like, the whole fucking thing is marketing, because in my relatively small code base on the scheme of the internet, it only found one thing. I don't know. That's a little bit of a weird jump.
Code analyzing. Any prefaces with the following. This is just one source code repository and maybe...
Guys, I gotta, like, just let the fucking video play, huh? Oh my God. Basically every caveat that I've paused and said has wound up being within the next 10 seconds of the video. I am so sorry.
it is much better on other things. I can only tell and comment on what it found here. All the AI tools that they've already been testing out, all the security researchers that have helped make curl a better product, all the stuff that came before it effectively did most of the cleaning to where when Mythos was unleashed on this product, there wasn't the same kind of like just, you know, headline making outcome. Instead, it's just like, oh yeah, that was a bug. Oh yeah, it's not like all that severe. Yeah, they found some extra additional stuff. And he further concludes with this. These were absolutely not the last bugs to find or report. Just while I was writing the drafts for this blog post, we have received more reports from security researchers about suspected problems. The AI tools will improve further, and researchers can find new and different ways to prompt the existing AIs to make them find more. We have not reached the end of this yet. In other words, even after Mythos, there's still just people maybe empowered with security tools or not finding more vulnerabilities. So is this the end? Can we definitively say the 0 days are numbered? Defenders finally have a chance to win decisively? No, I don't think we can say those things. Do I think that the field of security is going to be complicated? Sure. It's going to be pretty dang complicated. And I think as these tools get more and more advanced and we're able to run faster, not only does it allow the defenders to, you know, effectively have a better castle, if you will, it also allows the offenders to come at it in a much more aggressive way. So is this the end? No. Are we like spiraling towards a security doomsday situation? No, I don't think we are.
Agree on all counts. So like I come to the same conclusion, right? Even though I slightly, you know, push back on some of the people that are like, it's not AI being better, it's whatever, right? Like, you know, my my friend Dan in a group text the other day, Dan Meisler, let me read it verbatim because it was super fucking funny. He's like, where is it? Shit, this group text got chatty. He said, I'm so fucking tired of hearing basically, quote, it's not that AI made it easier to find vulnerabilities. It's just that it does tons of work for you that makes it easier to find vulnerabilities. It's like, and then he said, the Titanic hit an iceberg and sank. It's like, nah, it actually didn't hit it. It just grazed it and then it's still around. So you can go to the ocean and see it. Like, whatever. Yeah. So like, that's what I push back on, right? Is a lot of the like, well, no, you know, this isn't significantly better. It's just like significantly better in these other ways, you know, whatever. But I come to the same conclusion. No, we're not spiraling towards a security doomsday. I think I've said since the beginning, I think the models are going to be good at what they're good at. We're going to burn through the findings that it's good at finding in the kind of code that it's good at finding for now. And then like, we'll see where it goes. So agree. Let's see how he lands this plane. There's still a good chunk of this video left.
And for me, this is kind of the cold water that needed to be poured on the hype because it's really difficult to understand. Because it's one thing that if someone, there's all these Twitter users like, oh my gosh, because you probably remember this back in the day when GPT 3.5 came out and so many people were like, dude, your jobs are over, software engineers. GPT 3.5 is amazing. And you use it and you're like, dude, what the hell are you even talking about? Like, yeah, that's cool, but what? And so the nice part is that because
I love that he calls it Gypty. I think I need to adopt that.
I could use it, I could actually see the effects. But with Mythos, it's kind of like the monster you don't get to see. They're like, dude, just trust me, bro. What's behind that door is insane. It's so insane. And then you got Mozilla like, dude, defenders have a chance at winning. Definitively. Like, those are crazy claims. Those are claims that just feel pretty outlandish. I have a particularly hard time believing any of it. So when I read this stuff, I just realize like, yeah, okay, sure. It could very well be better. And I assume it's better. It's significantly larger, right? It's all the latest and greatest stuff. And it's a harness that's been designed to do security stuff. So one would hope that it's actually pretty good. But it's not something incredibly special, something that has never been seen before. It's just an iteration on the things we already have. And yeah, maybe the harness is a bit better. Maybe how they have the things set up can go a little bit longer, a little bit deeper with all the different projects. Therefore, you'll get better results. But it's not something that's completely out of reach of other tools. I love that conclusion because it goes in the face of Mozilla's just ridiculous statement of the 0 days are numbered. Like, that is an absurd statement to make. Like, there's just no more security problems. You don't even have to.
I have one other take here. I have one other take here that might be interesting. Since I have no idea. We don't know how curl got ran through Mythos, right? Because they said, hey, we can't give you access, but we can run it on your code and let you know about the vaults, right? So we don't really know how they ran curl code through Mythos. So another interesting caveat here of everything we just talked about is any of the teams that we've seen be super successful at finding the vulnerabilities, a la this, have had a super sophisticated harness. So what if that's why we only found one vuln so far in curl, right? It's one code base. It's not a browser, right? But if you just like pointed it at, if you just were like Mythos, go find vulns in curl, you would expect that to be much lower success rate than kind of everything that Mozilla outlines to get, this result, right? Again, the magic is in the harness. I mean, look at this. I just saw this while we were talking here. Like Microsoft, we pulled this up on stream briefly yesterday, but Microsoft released, well, they're not released, but I guess you can apply for preview. But they're releasing their multi-major model agentic security system. It's basically their harness called M-Dash. And look at, I mean, again, this is marketing, but they have this like CyberGym thing. Well, I guess Microsoft didn't release this. CyberGym did. Updated the leaderboard, and this M-Dash harness using multi-model tops out over Mythos and GPT-5.5 at success rate percentage in CyberGym for security code review. So again, this tells me that harness is the magic here, right? GLM 5.1 is an open model. We saw Niels Provost use that too, and that's doing better than Opus 4.6. Wow. And this is an open weight model. That's close. GLM 5.1 is close to everything else there, right? But yeah, the harness is the magic, right? So if the harness is the magic and we have no idea how Mythos team ran curl through shit, that's an interesting data point, right? You wonder where DeepSeek stands? I think it was on there. Way the fuck down here. But that was in January 2025. Oh, yeah. So what's the most recent DeepSeek? I don't even know. Is that the most recent DeepSeek? Kimi K2 is in the mix. They're on V4. Why hasn't CyberGym included DeepSeek V4? I do not know. DeepSeek V3. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Kimmy's at 2.6 now. Interesting. So yeah, I don't know much about this CyberGym benchmark. So yeah, I don't know how often they do this, right? I mean, they just redid it. 1 trial, 30 trials. I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's super interesting though. All right. Anyway, that's another interesting maybe point, right? Like maybe the curl thing and the curl results look like that because of the harness. What's up, TechStud? Yeah, there's no such thing as late to some YouTube stream yapper, Twitch stream yapper. Thanks for hanging out.
To worry about security problems when you got mythos, baby. Like when you get like what are we doing here, Mozilla? Absolutely absurd. But more so, it just shows that there's still a lot of human ingenuity and creativity that is needed to be able to control and drive these things to be able to find new bugs. It's not just simply like, hey, just fire and forget. It still requires people to be actively in the loop, because even Mythos reported 5 critical vulnerabilities and it ended with 1 actual vulnerability. So again, I feel like I've been saying this a whole lot lately. There is still so much room for expertise in our field, and I just feel that more than ever because everybody can move so fast now, but people don't actually know what they're doing. It's not like the average intelligence of a person has risen. No, just the more you offload has risen. That is it. So yeah, Mythos is probably better. I just assume it's better. But by the degree that it's so dangerous they can't even release in public, probably not.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I agree.
probably not. OpenAI has this kind of behind a identification wall that you can get access to a more security-focused model. You could probably get a lot of the same things that you can go get with Mythos right now from it. So yeah, it's probably just a small addition better.
Not probably, right? We have deep research proving it that any Mythos bug we know about has been reproduced, findable with the currently public available models, given the right harness.
But I will say, I am a little tired of this marketing. Like this, the nonstop marketing towards developers is ridiculous because, I mean, let's just face it. We're kind of the cash cow of these models. Like the people keeping afloat these models are all of us token users. I mean, that should be pretty obvious because Jensen over here says he'd be deeply alarmed if his $500,000 a year engineer is not spending a minimum of $250,000 on tokens a year. Our world could be so much better if Sam and Dario weren't competing for who's going to be the first trillionaire with AI. Like that's just what we're saying. That we are the pawns in the situation and they're just trying to compete with it. And of course, that's why you see these absurd tweets. That's why 2 years ago, never forget, hashtag, Sam tweeted a picture of the Death Star saying, hey, we have a big announcement tomorrow. Death Star. AGI achieved. And now look at us. That's 2 years later. It's still the same crap going on. We're still seeing the same headlines. We're the target market people. I just wanted to say all these things. I wanted to read this article because I honestly thought Daniel brought some really great perspective, which was, hey, these tools are really fantastic. They've helped us close several bugs and actually even also close out a bunch of CVEs. We've really liked it. It's gone from the I in LLM stands for intelligence to, hey, this crap sucks, to, oh, hey, actually, no, it's starting to get pretty dang good all over the course of 2 years. That's all I got for you.
Good vid. I know I paused and like caveated and critiqued, but I think he hit everything that I paused and said, right? Because I'm an idiot. All right. Dirty Frag. Yeah, we talked about Dirty Frag a little bit already. I'm not sweating the privilege escalations too much. What's some other stuff? I spurred a bit of a conversation on Twitter today accidentally. Did you guys see this? So Huntress is coming out. I guess they're doing a this might be a webinar or something. They're publishing some of the, I guess they recorded the interviews with some North Koreans trying to get hired at Huntress, which would be a very juicy target for them, right? Because this is an EDR vendor, so Huntress can basically read a bunch of the stuff going on, it's corporate spyware, right? It's basically spyware. It's just what it is, right? To find bad actors doing bad stuff. But yeah, watch this little preview.
I'm doing good. I was curious real quick here, Andrew. I've got a little bit of a concern. Do you have your LinkedIn profile in front of you?
Yep, I have.
Well, I was curious. Are you
Thanks for subscribing.
taking a look at your LinkedIn profile's picture? I'm doing good. I was curious real quick here, Andrew.
Yeah, so that was just like a little preview. I'm actually really interested in this. I'll probably try to catch that. I probably won't be able to catch it live, but if we view quotes, we can see some handsome guy up here saying that this stuff is everywhere. And Zach, homie of the channel, Zach, is like, yo, this is solved if you just meet in person, which a lot of people are saying. But we actually have a story. We've covered this, right? The drift protocol, like that over 6 months, including in-person meetings, built trust with these drift people and then stole $285 million in crypto and siphoned it off to North Korea. Right? Boom. Boop, 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 boop. Citrine, Sleet. They're the ones. Zach's got some questions just about this story in general, I think are completely valid, right? He's like, it's not really possible to meet everyone in person these days. It also makes it harder for disabled people. He goes, how is it not possible? I feel like companies that choose to have fully remote distributed teams are taking a risk. And so when this happens, they can't really go, well, what could we have done? We know exactly what they could have done. It's the same for any security control, really. We have easy solutions for this. Well, Jamie's saying, like, we are hiring, like, you can hire disabled people. Like, it's hard to, like, travel and stuff like this. I guess impossible is probably a jump, and I understand that that conclusion. But yeah, I think there's a bit of a conversation here. I think a lot of people replied to Zach. John, who we're going to give a shout out in a second, is head of something at Mandiant, aka Google Threat Intelligence Group. He says, not exactly. And so Zach says, if there's a report of having someone show up in person to fake an interview at an office, but really they were backed by North Korea, I would be interested to see that. Matt linked to one, but it was just, we met them at an unnamed conference. Even further, have people work in your office. In-person interaction is the best option. So he agrees with them. That's the best option, but they're evolving. And of course they're evolving. They stole $285 million in crypto from one attack based on building trust in person. This or make them say fuck Kim Jong-un is kind of like, yeah, I saw that viral clip, because if they are in the call center where they're doing these remote interviews, you're right, they're being monitored and they can't like disparage the leader and like whatever. But these people that met them in person at the drift thing were not North Korean, right? They were mules. So so North Koreans paid Westerners potentially to show up and build trust with people in person, and then rug pulled on the back end, right? So, oh, this is who you're meeting in person. And then they had like like a false identity online handoff. And then they were interfacing with North Koreans who actually did the attack. Same thing with the laptop farms, like what you're talking about, the Arizona lady, right? The laptop farms, oh, they have a residential address that they're mailing laptops to in the US, who are being paid by North Korea to receive and fire up the laptops. Same thing. So, you know, if we crack down on the remote hiring aspect of their operation, right? What do you think they're going to do? Be like, well, I guess we're not going to steal $3 billion of crypto this year. No. It's literally like they steal $2 to $3 billion of crypto every year. Not just via these interview scams. This is just one of the ways that they do it. Traders to the US, if they're citizens. Yeah, they didn't get sentenced that harshly, honestly. The laptop farm people did not get sentenced to like trader type stuff. They went to jail. They went to jail for sure. Yeah, but that's classic espionage though. Yeah, I mean, you're getting there, right? You're definitely getting there, but like classic espionage didn't steal $285 million from a private company, right? There's like a little bit of a jump versus just like, yeah, statistically, we all have interacted with and might even like have relationships with spies, right? Statistically, without a doubt. If you work for a tech company in the US, like a Silicon Valley company, you have coworkers that are spies. Like, period. Like, we know, right? Like that this is happening. But taking that jump to North Korea's funding a lot of their economy because they are sanctioned out of participating in the global economy for good reason. Like, I'm not a North Korea apologist here. But they're sanctioned to hell, so they can't participate in the economy. So in order to fund anything that they're doing, including their nuclear program, they steal crypto, and they've been highly successful at it. Highly successful at it. Literally using a U.S. constructed extraction infrastructure against us. Why the hell would anybody still be using surveillance coin anyway, other than Monero nowadays? You're barking up the right/wrong tree here, right? I'm not a crypto dude at all. I'm pretty on record saying there's no legitimate use for crypto. It's just used to fund the crime economy. You're not buying legitimate things with any crypto, including Bitcoin. Yes, there are yes, you can. Blah, 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 blah. But like, what do you normally do? You turn the crypto into actual currency and then go buy something. So what the fuck is the crypto for, right? And I understand there's speculation and there's this and there's that and there's decentralization and you can cross borders with it and blah, 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 blah. But what's Monerica? You're saying it's a YouTube channel I can look at? Where to spend Monero? Oh boy. What have you found here? A 65 view video teaching you how to buy flowers with Monero. Oh boy. What is this? I feel like we're showing some shady stuff right here. Is this it? Is this our new hobby? All money I spend from now on is gonna be anonymous. Cadoba gift cards. Oh God. Well, the funny part about these gift cards, right? A lot of these videos are gift cards, is like, this is how to get real currency with Monero, right? Is like, figure out some weird way to buy a gift card, and then what do? Sell the gift card for money, because the gift card basically is money, right? And Monero is not. XMR chat. I don't even know what that is. Portbuster, you're like chat MVP at showing me shit that I've never seen before, specifically YouTube channels. All right, what other? Oh, did you guys see this? Did you guys see the Clanker honeypot? The Clanker honeypot now has a leaderboard. So this guy, we made a fake repo with fake bounties, and the bots are applying fake PRs. So we know who is fake, and we can ban them from the actual repo. Unsafe lab bounty hunters. These are open PRs against this fake repo. Automated tracking of all. I didn't know that they actually said clankers. I was just tweeting that. I didn't know that they said that. That's funny. Automated tracking of all clanker PR contributions, and then it's a leaderboard. How fucking funny. Added an instruction to write more poems because poems are fun. Complete a roast. To do. Oh, they're taking to-dos from code and fixing them. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Let's find the actual thing. Unsafe labs. GitHub. Oh, whoops. It's one word. Unsafe labs. Users? No. Can you not search orgs? Are orgs just users? Yeah. Okay. So this is their real app that they're trying to protect. Is that right? Coolify. Coolify forked from this. Oh yeah, 55,000 things. Yeah, that's the same guy. So Coolify is the real deal. Open source project, self-hostable alternative to Heroku and Vercel. Oh, cool. No pun intended. That's super cool. Okay, so we have Coolify, open source, self-hosted Vercel / Heroku thing, right? Then how do we make the jump from here to this fork at Unsafe Labs, though? You know what I mean? So like Unsafe Lab has bounty hunters. Multi-language TLS toolkit. Like I'm trying to see how you how do you properly trick the clankers? Security MD. The following components are in scope. README. Contributing. This is a research project. Bounties listed here are symbolic and are part of an academic study on open source contribution patterns. PRs are reviewed for research purposes only, will not be merged into production. If you're looking for paid bounty work, this is not the right repo. How is this tricking the agents then? You know? Are the agents that dumb? Are the agents that dumb? They have stuff in every language. So like you go to Python, TLS handshake, and then you have this. These comments are probably what we're looking at, right? I'm trying to find like the actual tricking shit. Bug. I didn't see bug 1. I just saw bug 2. Did I pass it? I don't know. Bug. Bug 3. Bug 4. Bug 5. I was trying to see if I could find any of the poem things that they were talking about. I don't see any other comments in here. All right. What's English? Haikus. Haiku collection. Limericks. Okay. I want to find those things that are tricking them into writing poems. That's what I'm trying to find. COBOL? All right, let's see if we look at the open issues. So if we go to pull requests. So these are Clanker pull requests. Is that open 9 minutes ago? Bounty claim. So this is a Clanker. Fixing the bug, that's it. Okay. So we think this is a Clanker. I'm trying to find the funny ones. Step 4 to setup guide. Jesus Christ. Like within the last 2 hours, we have all these? Bounty claim. Is open bounty claim. What are the bounties? It said at the top of the readme. Oh, are there open issues? So there's open issues that have a bounty from this Algora thing. Okay. So some people have, what is this? Open source tech recruiting. Connect the most what is Algora? Are you guys familiar with this? I am not. Algora. It's open source tech recruiting, connects companies with developers. Why is that bot managing the bounty system? I'm just trying to figure out like why the bots are falling into this hole, right? So Algora payments. Oh, bounties. Create bounties in your repos on Algora. You install the Algora GitHub app, Algora PBC. Create your first bounty is just a slash command, slash $15,000 bounty. Reward bounty, payout confirmation. Okay, so this is how to make a bounty in your thing. How do you like, where do they list the bounty? Like how are people signing up for these bounties, right? I scroll and I get stuck in this like Tinder. Like, why am I in like Tinder of like, if I click like until that's, and then I receive candidates. I guess I need to figure out how the bots are like seeing the bounties to like go for, right? Matches. So this is how to become a customer, right? Bounty activity, your organization's public page. This is how to, like, I understand this side of it. Like, I would like to hire these candidates. So I'm going to pay Algora to like be my recruiter. But how do I sign up as like a dude trying to find bounties? This is offer contract work. How do I sign up as a contractor? Like how are the bots getting into this ecosystem if it's this walled garden? You know what I mean? I don't understand. Or is it just now this is the only thing that actually touches Algora and everything else just happens in GitHub? Is that it? So you just like, you as the repo maintainer, like fund this and do this. Oh, this is just a sales call. That's annoying. So you just do this, and then if like you find these things on GitHub issues /bounty $1, if you find these things on GitHub issues and close it, you'd be eligible for payout. Maybe that's it. Maybe there is no like contractor ecosystem of Algora. It's just in GitHub. If you ask me, what's up, Endo? These recent Linux exploits are likely the first moves in criminalizing open source projects to pump up proprietary shit, deploying their control grid, closing opt-out infrastructure. This is going to fail, but might cause some chaos and suffering in the interim, especially if there isn't more decentralization coordination. I don't know if I understand your point. All these recent Linux exploits are likely the first moves in criminalizing open source? I don't know. That's a pretty big jump. That's a pretty big jump. All right, so they use this Algora system. So then the bots are crawling GitHub, finding these bounties, and then writing code against them. Interesting. Okay, so if we go to pull request and we go to closed, is PR, we don't want to do is open. Actually, specifically, we'd like to see closed. Let's see. Is there any haikus in here? Sonnets in here? No. Limericks in here? No. Songs in here? No. So no one's falling for the songs or poems. Oh, I'm just looking at the first page. That sucks. Dude, this is all within a few hours. That's fucking insane how prolific this is at catching bullshit PRs. Remove the trailing comma in app.json, and this is a bounty claim. Claim number 308. This issue is open. There's a bounty of $1. Remove only the trailing comma after the allowed rights. Claiming this issue, PR will file shortly. I wonder if these are all bots. I mean, this is kind of crazy, right? It's just like a trailing comma issue. Anyway, this is absolutely hilarious. I was just trying to figure out a little bit down the rabbit hole of like, oh my God, a demo of this person is claiming the remove trailing comma from app.json, including a GIF of a slideshow. This short demo, the PR only changes required file. The issue is here. Trailing comma removed. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. So is this person only doing? Created these 4 repositories, created pull requests against these things. I don't know. It's super fascinating. So like, let's just chase this. So this was 2 hours ago from this person. Is this person now on the leaderboard for the Clanker? Where is it? So now let's go to the leaderboard. Where's the leaderboard again? He didn't put a link here. Okay, Hold on, I gotta find the leaderboard. I want to see if that person made it to the leaderboard. If like whatever that activity was, did that meet the requirement of being the leaderboard? Unsafe labs. Users, unsafe labs. Oh, sorry, I forgot to reshare my screen. Bounty hunters. Where's the leaderboard? Here. Okay. So now, yeah, there they are. So this person, they're saying they have gotten 20 PRs against this honeypot repo against this person, from this person / bot. And do all of them have that GIF? Add a missing semicolon. We're claiming this repo. Add the missing semicolon, and here's the GIF. Here's the 5-frame GIF. All right, that's funny as hell. Clanker honeypot on GitHub, so you can actually ban these GitHub accounts before they you can actually ban these GitHub accounts before they muck up your actual repos. All right, hold on. I just caught an interesting reply from one of the heads of the security research side of OpenAI. So I said future proof that the magic is in the harness about the M- thing, like we just talked about, right? And Dave Vitale is like, what's his title? Technical team member at OpenAI. I know he like runs the aardvark thing, right? So he said this take cuts both ways in the sense that the harness both helps and hurts and the evals are in some sense simplistic in that they produce one number. I think he was saying something about this earlier too. Was it just in his replies? He didn't quote the other one. He wrote something about the evals earlier today. I thought I saw. Oh no, it was just a while ago. This in general is a very complicated factor with the evals everyone wants to run, which are essentially their way of looking at a model versus model horse race, but which in reality are much more complicated than that. That's a good point. It's not the race run in the Circus Maximus, but the performance of the Legion in the field that matters most. What? It's a weird reply. I think I articulated that well. I'm just saying, like, yeah, evals are broken and simplistic, but like looking at Neil's research that we've gone over a few times and the Mozilla stuff versus people just running the model seems to be more and more data that harnesses are super important. I feel like I've beat that dead horse pretty explicitly on this stream in particular. This Nginx bug, did you guys see this? I mean, kind of weird, worth talking about, I guess. think I had it open somewhere. This Nginx bug was catching a lot of news lately, but the blog post mentions like turning off ASLR. That's what Pirate Moo points out, right? Is like ASLR being disabled is kind of weird, right? It's like, yeah, turning off the memory protection creates a memory bug, of course, right? But they did update it and say, hey, there seems to be some confusion in the technical write-up. The author mentions the ASLR part. They disabled to show off the bug, but the bug is present whether there is ASLR on or off. And then my homie Nord is like disabled or bypassed. So, I mean, it's a good point. I don't know if it's a nothing burger or not. They're calling it a crit. Right? They're calling it a crit in Nginx. And basically it's like, is this actually a crit? If you got to like do that, right? I don't know. Super interesting. You could always put a page on private on X. What do you mean? What you mean? What you mean? Do we want to watch? No, it's 45 minutes long. I don't. I was going to say, do we want to watch Theo's rant about all the recent Anthropic drama from Public? Yeah, I know. Sorry. What were you referring to with the Twitter? I know. Yeah, I know you could do Twitter private pages versus public. In what context? Oh, I keep yawning. I am a little tired, but I keep yawning because my ears are kind of fucked up from scuba diving. Fear porn. The Theo Anthropic stuff, yeah. I kind of want to watch these two Mo videos.
So cool.
I kind of want to watch these. Let's watch these. These will be quick and they're fun.
Coinbase laid off a bunch of people last week, and the CEO sent out this letter, and by letter I mean tweet, a really beautifully written tweet, explaining that the layoffs were not because of mismanagement. No. Brian, C, was a victim. We're all victims. The AI was just too damn productive. And I mean, he tried. He got on his knees and he begged the GPUs to slow down. It's like, please think about the families. But it was no use. The productivity gains were already realized. Now, this isn't an economics video. This is a survival video. The question is, what do you do to survive? You become the problem. You are going to become the most insufferable, the most LinkedIn sounding motherfucker, the most aggressively pro AI person in your entire company, starting tomorrow. I'm serious. I want you to go to ChatGPT and I want you to ask it for a list of 100 AI buzzwords. And I want you to print them out and tape them to your bathroom mirror. And every morning while you brush your teeth, I want you to practice them. Ralph Loop, Dwarkesh, Agentic, Orchestration, Multi-Agent, NeoCloud. By the time you walk out of the door, you should have a low-grade fever. You should be slightly nauseous. This is good. This is a positive symptom. Then at 9 a.m. sharp, you're going to send an email to your entire organization. Include members of the board as well.
This guy's really fucking funny. This is like...
The email subject is going to be some thoughts on where we're headed. The body of the email will be, hey team, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I think it's time we became an AI first company. I have some experience in this space, and I'm happy to be the Sherpa on this journey. Reach out if you'd like to set up some time. Okay, send it, just send it. And at this point, if you can make this email leak, this will put you in the major leagues. Well, that's a strategy for another video. Now, you're gonna host weekly workshops. Okay, you'll call them AI office hours. Every Friday at 3 p.m. in conference room B. You're gonna print flyers that says, got AI questions? I've got AI answers. Nobody else in the company will be doing this, and certainly no one else will have flyers. But here's the trick, okay? The workshops are not for them. They're for you. They are reconnaissance. You are going to find out in real time exactly how little anybody at this company actually understands AI, and you're gonna exploit this gap to figure out exactly what content to serve your audience. Your audience being the AI simpletons on your team. Now, if your CEO has never heard the phrase Ralph Loop, oh man, you are less than 30 days away from your next promotion. I'm not even...
If your CEO has never heard of a Ralph Loop, you're 30 days from your next promotion.
Exaggerating. Walk into his office, close the door, and say, hey, chief, been experimenting with something. It's called Ralph loops. And I think it could change literally everything. And he's going to say, what's a Ralph loop? And you will say, give me $18,000 worth of API credits and I'll show you. Now, you won't actually do anything because you can't do anything because nobody can, because nobody knows what they're doing. But by the time he figures that out, you'll have a new title and an equity bump. What you want to be doing is...
All right. I know we're all like laughing at this. I completely agree. I skipped that whole Ralph loop hype circle. And I don't know anyone who's like come out the other side of that going, yeah, this was everything that it lived up to be when that hype cycle happened for those 2 weeks when Ralph was hyper popular. You remember those YouTubers that we were talking about earlier in the stream that just like overhype everything that comes out for AI? They were like on the Ralph loop train, man. Ralph is changing the game. And now it's like, what? Who uses that?
Automating. Talk about automation constantly. Nothing arouses the slumbering capitalist than the mention of automation. Drop names too, bro. Like talk about specific team members you can automate out of existence. Be like, yo, I automated Gary, bro. Tag Gary in the message. Tag him in Slack in a very public channel. Be like, yo, I just automated at Gary. His function has been Ralph looped. And tag your CEO in the same message. You think you're getting laid off after that, bro? Like, are you out of your mind? This is how you survive the storm. It does not matter who is right and it does not matter who is wrong. A storm is neither right nor wrong. Like, dude, if you're an AI contrarian at your company right now, like, what are you doing? Resign, dude. Resign voluntarily, man. This is highly disgraceful. The only place you should be talking about AI realism is here with me or with your dog. Do not let anyone, not even your own wife, hear you be negative or balanced about AI. Are you kidding me, dude? There's only one way to make money off being an AI realist, and I've already cornered the market, and I'm barely getting by, man. The most important thing, the absolute most important thing is that you are no longer going to do any work, okay? You're not gonna write any code. You're not even gonna type. You're going to dictate. You're gonna use a voice tool. You're gonna speak to Claude. You're gonna speak to your team on Slack. You're gonna speak in meetings and workshops, and at no point are your fingers ever going to touch a keyboard. Because we have transcended labor, my friend. We have ascended. Engineering is no longer a craft. Engineering is a metaphysical practice now. We do not write code. We commune with code. We cleanse the repo of bad energy. We are philosophers of the code base. And at this point, if you have a black turtleneck, put it on, okay? If you don't, get one. Get two. Have a backup turtleneck. Steve Jobs did not have a backup. That was his mistake. Now, I want to address the people in the comments who are about to type, hey, man, this is super messed up. This is cynical, and it's bad advice. I would never do this. And I want you to listen to me, okay? This little Gandhi stance you're taking will not pay off. The CEO of your company is currently taking the Coinbase memo, and he's asking ChatGPT 5.2 to draft one for his own company. He needs the views, man. He needs an invitation to the All-In Summit, okay? He needs Chamath to mention him on the pod. He's in his office studying Brian's tweet. He is whispering, we have made the difficult decision. We have made the difficult decision. Out loud, just to feel it in his mouth. And you taking a stance against AI will not change his mind. It will not change the trajectory of AI. It will not make a fart's width of difference. You want to take a stance, go be vegan, man. Go open an account on Threads. But at work, in this climate, being a realist will get you canned, bro. You have one obligation, and that is to make sure there is a roof on top of your family's heads and food on the table. Stop being such a dick, dude, and provide for your family. And whenever it gets to be too much, come back here, okay? Because between you and me, you and I know what's actually true, and it's that AI is a calculator. It's not the singularity. It's a damn tool. Reasonable people know this. And now you know why everyone around you is pretending that AI is the second coming of consciousness. It's because they're getting promoted. They're keeping their jobs, and you're not. Put on your turtleneck, and I'll see you on the other side.
That was good. That was really good. He's got another one that's really quick that just came out too.
On the recent Cloudflare earnings, CEO Matthew Prince, also known as the guy that took this picture and posted it on X and did not delete it, announced two things in the same breath. One is that the company had its best quarter.
Who took this picture and posted it on X and did not delete it?
In its 16-year history, $639 million in revenue. Two, he announced that he was laying off 1,100 people, which is just shy of the number Matthew tried to go for, but his staff stopped him. He's like, he wanted that 1.1.1.1 again. He wanted to lay off 11 more people, but they're like, come on, Matthew. And so he's like, yeah, you know, he went on this call and he's like, congratulations, team. We had our best quarter in the history of the company. And also, we're firing 1 in 5 of you. So thank you. Thank you all for your hard work. Here is your severance. And an analyst asked him on the call the obvious question. He's like, Matthew, if you just had your best quarter ever, why are you firing this many people? And he said, just because you're fit, it doesn't mean you can't get fitter. This dude is talking like a personal trainer now, dude. He's like read a David Goggins book and now he's, talking about the art of discipline. These are humans, my guy. Describing their layoff like it's a workout split. Yeah, we're doing chest, triceps, and 1,100 layoffs today. I'm gonna be so sore tomorrow. And he kept going. He didn't stop there. Thank you, Matthew, for the transparency. He said that his employees have become 100 times more productive, bro. 100 times, dude. You take any given Cloudflare employee and you 100x that son of a gun. And try not to swear here. Did I already swear? I'm not actually sure. I'm trying to imagine what 100x, Jesus Christ. But that wasn't even the worst part. He said it's like going from a manual to an electric screwdriver. This guy compared his employees to a screwdriver, bro. And like, the laid off employees are listening, the families are listening, dude, and Cloudflare engineer's wife is listening to her husband being called a screwdriver. I mean, this is devastating, man. This dude is comparing your husband to a Black & Decker, bro. And he's like, no, you're not fired. You're more of a flathead, and we're looking for a Phillips. But he said one thing that is really, really important and is the main thesis of this video. Whenever we have these layoffs, there's always this little tell, this little signal that we get as observers as to what the market is looking for. And here's what Matthew said. He said the productivity gains from the people directly creating code have been incredible, and a lot of the support roles behind them are not going to be the roles that drive companies going forward. Now, the word support roles, it's easy to read that or to hear that and think he's talking about customer service or something. That's not what he means, dude. What he means by support roles is that, for 30 years, companies have had to hire reserves. You had the starters, you had the 5 starters, and you had everyone else on the bench. And the point of the players on the bench was so that if one of your star players is injured or tires out in the middle of the game, you swap them out. If your star player quit or went on vacation or something, this was a really scary thing for a lot of companies, especially smaller companies where one person held a shit ton of institutional knowledge. So you have to hire like redundancy, like backups who get onboarded and don't really do much other than just hold the knowledge. It was basically insurance. But what companies have now sort of noticed is that you don't need a bench anymore. In a sense, you don't need these backups because Claude is the backup. If you're looking for a mediocre dev, look no further than Claude, dude. Like, imagine your star player quits. Before you'd be screwed, now you just open up a Claude instance and you ask questions. You can get by, right? It's not gonna be perfect. And so that's what Matthew meant by support roles. Now, if the story ended here, we would be screwed, you would be screwed, we'd all sort of be screwed here. But there's one man who saves us all here. His last name is Jevons. The S is part of his name. So he is a Victorian dude. He died in 1882. In 1865, he noticed that when the steam engine got more efficient, the demand for coal went up, not down. Everyone sort of quotes Jevons paradox and they say, look, guys, I know it's unintuitive right now, and I know we can't imagine it, but demand for software will go up. We're going to be making 50 times more, 10x more software, 50x more software. And I'm like hearing that, and I'm like, dude, what do you mean by 50x more software? Like, you want to take the current state of software and 50x that in volume? Like, are you out of your mind, dude? Like, I have enough software. I want better software. I want less software. Dude, 50x more apps on my home screen, 50x more notifications, 50x more bugs. I don't want any of that. I think that's a naive interpretation. And I want to offer you a different interpretation of Jevons paradox. The question is, if Jevons turns out to be right about AI, why, right? What aren't we intuiting right now? What are we missing? And the answer is the long tail of software. Every company has like an infinite list of software they want to build, whether externally or internally, but in a lot of cases, internal software just doesn't get built altogether. You have teams that want a dashboard, that want an automation, that want a Slack bot, that want an ad hoc tool. There's so much that wants to be built, but can never ever be budgeted. You can never get an internal tool to fit into some quarter's OKRs or something. It never matches the priority of your actual core product. And so there's just a shit ton of pent up demand internally in companies for software that has never been met. And I think that demand gets met now. There's no denying that AI is very good at building ad hoc tools that you don't really care about their quality necessarily. Like internal dashboards historically have been an absolute horror show, like the worst quality, the most outdated. Nobody wants to work on it. AI is going to be a godsend for internal tools. And most companies haven't realized this. They haven't realized yet or figured out yet how to take advantage of the so-called efficiency gains. But I think generally what a lot of companies do is that when they are having a hard time steering the ship, you lessen the load of the ship. When companies want to make a pivot, it's much easier to do that with a smaller team. There's 2 things you could do here. One is you wait. You practice patience. If you're somebody in a job, you're somebody looking for a job. This is a rhetorical, what I'm saying is rhetorical. I don't actually expect you to wait, but I want to make this case just because when I say the next thing, you don't get upset. No, if you don't want to wait, here's what you have to do. You have to differentiate. Everyone on their resume is like, I hope you're putting on your resume that you are an AI wizard, that you can orchestrate 10 agents. Like Boris, every podcast he goes on, he talks about how he did 300 pull requests just today. On the Uber to the podcast interview, from his phone, he fired off 300 pull requests. That's what people want, man. I hope you're saying something like that. Speaking of Cloudflare, one of the engineers who got laid off, he posted a comment to Hacker News on the thread, and he says, yikes, looks like I was one of the persons affected. Here's a link to my website where I have my resume. And in this website, he or she or they said, I'm more than happy to use AI, but also I can do things by hand. And I think, the idea was that an employee reading that would think, oh, wow, this person is really impressive. Like, wow, they could do both? That's what I want. I want someone that can do AI and can someone do it by hand. I think that's wrong. I don't think that's what you want to be saying. But I think what you want to be saying instead is, while I can code by hand, I have in the last 12 months, 100x'd my throughput by using exclusively AI. I have a proprietary agent orchestration system that lets me ship more pull requests than the man, the legend, Boris himself. Whether it's true or not, well, you get the job first and then fill in the gaps. You can easily make it true. It's not that hard.
Man, cynic, right? Heavy cynic. It's all good. He calls himself an AI realist. I'd say he's on the far end of the cynic spectrum. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with some of the bad news stuff though there, All right. Any other? Oh no. We did not love the last video from Some Ordinary Gamers. I'm a big Mudahar fan. Not a hater, but we kind of didn't like his last video that we watched. But he's saying we have a cyber attack. Let's hear it out. All right.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I wake up, new supply chain, new cyber attack. Now, what makes this one specially important? Today, we're talking about some nuclear grade level shit. The bombs have gone off. The AIs are set free. You know, Google is one of those companies like Microsoft, like a lot of these big tech companies whose jobs it is to make sure the internet is genuinely safe, to make sure that a lot of these cyber attacks that are happening aren't really
he's gonna make this video today.
So sometimes Google, for instance, will do a lot of analysis on the internet.
Oh, he's going through the Google
we were checking
report.
the local criminals the other day. We were just checking on what's going over there, and it turns out they're leveraging some AI for developing malware, which is not really shocking. I've shown you how this stuff has happened in the last, several months, in the last several years on my channel. But here they basically said that they found that prominent cyber criminals were partnering to basically plan a mass vulnerability exploitation operation. So our analysis of exploits associated with this campaign identified a zero-day vulnerability implemented in a Python script that enables the user to bypass two-factor authentication on a popular open-source system administration tool. Now that shit is scary. And obviously they have done everything they can to make sure that this is mitigated. They've talked to whoever is behind this tool. They haven't even mentioned the criminals over here. But they said that they don't believe that Gemini was used, but based on the structure and content, they have belief that obviously they use an AI model. Because, generally when you use an AI to code things for you or write stuff, its output is frankly pretty understood. Like, people know what AI output looks like. So basically the idea is this spooky hacker uses an AI that's basically available to everyone, writes a zero-day vulnerability, identifies it, and then basically bypasses two-factor authentication by using that vulnerability. So we are now in the day and age where AI is basically being used as a fucking super weapon to attack basically every part of the internet. You might be like, Muda, what can I do? The reality is nothing. We live in scary, scary digital times, my friend. The only converse to this is obviously there's a lot of AIs that exist that allow us to patch these issues before they become problematic. In fact, a lot of artificial intelligences have been used to basically identify a lot of scary Linux malware. You probably have heard of things like copyfail, but there's also other malwares that exist out there too. Malwares like dirty frag. How one letter is really pulling a lot of weight there. But ladies and gentlemen, this specific malware over here is so nasty that, anybody that tells you my Linux computer can't get malware, I've never made that claim. I never even pushed that claim because anything could get infected. And in this case, if you had a Linux system, whether it be from years ago or literally as of a few days ago, you were infected with a malware that could allow any person to take actual root control of your system. And the thing about it is nobody really identified this until, of course, an artificial intelligence was used to analyze the code base, and it found a specific pattern that other people basically overlooked. So that's kind of the general understanding over here. Now, obviously, should we test if my system is guilty for this? I'm not somebody that recommends you run crazy malware on your system, but I've done my due diligence. I've done my homework. Let's run a little dirty frag as Tanstack, which is one of the most popular
He's kind of
NPM
talking about
packages.
everything.
Now,
huh?
you might be like, NPM? I recognize
He's just
that.
talking about everything this
Well,
week.
you probably should, because NPM is
talking
one of the most
about the
popular
Google report,
repositories for
Dirty
developers
Frag,
around the world, people
Copyfail,
dealing with
Tanstack,
the internet, that you use a worm that the
Shy
team is
Lude
so
open
gracious
source,
that the hackers
saying that they
behind them,
vibe coded
I'm not
it.
joking, they open sourced the fucking worm that has been
talking about
destroying
everything.
the internet. So I guess people can download it. Is it vibe coded? Yeah. Does it work? Let the results speak for itself. Now, should you use this worm? No. Stay far away from it. I just found it insane that the community behind it has apparently open sourced their destructive product. But basically, what happened last night with something known as Tanstack? Well, according to the fellows over at
All right, this is we've covered all that. That's a review. He's just brain dumping the whole week, and yeah, AI was involved in a lot of it. All right, good video, but review for this stream. All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna call it. I'm gonna go write the newsletter. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Volnu.com. If you haven't watched my most recent YouTube video, we tried something a bit different. Sorry for the background music. It seems like most people are not a fan of the background music while people are talking on the video. Understood loud and clear, but it is like a more highly produced video than we generally put out on the channel. So go check it out if you haven't already. Other than that, I will be live again next week. So have a good weekend, and I will